We're making Chipotle chicken burrito bowls. You've got smoky, juicy chicken, a lime, coriander, black bean, and corn rice, and you can even add some high protein yogurt through it to increase the macros. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of homemade sauce, and then some fresh toppings. It all reheats and stores really well. It tastes fantastic. And this right here is all of the ingredients we're going to need for today's recipe, with the additions of salt, pepper, oil, and some water to cook our rice.
Let's start with 900 grams or 1.9 pounds of chicken breast. Place each breast onto your chopping board and trim away any excess fat or sinew with a sharp knife. Once they're trimmed, butterfly each breast by slicing it horizontally into 2 even fillets. It's going to give us thinner, even pieces that cook faster and soak up more of the marinade, and these can all be placed into a mixing bowl. Add 1 tablespoon or 20 milliliters of olive oil, just enough to help everything coat, and 1 tablespoon of fresh lime juice. This is just a lime sliced in half. Peel 4 cloves of garlic and crush them with the side of your knife and then roughly chop or mince them. Doesn't have to be super fine, and we can add this into the bowl. Sprinkle over 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and then season well with salt and cracked black pepper. 20 cracks worth. Now, I will be honest, I nearly forgot the main ingredient, which is chipotle and adobo. We need about 3 tablespoons or 60 grams worth, and depending on which brand you get, some might need to be chopped up. Now mix everything thoroughly, use tongs or your hands to turn each fillet until every surface is coated in the marinade, and scrape down the sides of the bowl so none of that flavour is wasted. Cover the bowl tightly with cling film and place in the fridge. You can marinate this for at least 30 minutes or overnight for maximum flavour. Add 300 grams or 1.5 cups of washed jasmine rice to a saucepan, along with 550 milliliters of cold water, and we can also add in a pinch of salt here if you'd like to do so, and then take this over to your stovetop and place this onto a high heat, bringing it up to a boil. Once boiling, reduce the heat to low, place on a lid and cook for 12 minutes undisturbed, turn it off the heat and then leave it on for a final 4 minutes. In the meantime, place a large pan over a medium-high heat. We can add in a touch of spray oil here if you wanted to. Once it's nice and hot, take the marinated fillets from the fridge and lay them into the pan. You should hear the sizzle immediately. Cook the first side for about 4 minutes without touching them. This gives you a deep char and develops flavour. Flip each fillet and cook the second side for another 3 to 4 minutes. Check the thickest fillet with a thermometer. It should read 74 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Once cooked, we can transfer the chicken to a board or just put them into a bowl and allow them to rest for about 5 minutes, which is critical because it allows the juices to redistribute through the meat. Now go back to the rice, take the lid off and fluff the rice gently with a fork or a spatula. Add in 1 drained can of black beans and 1 drained can of corn, both rinsed under cold water. Add in 5 grams or 0.2 ounces of roughly chopped coriander or cilantro. Grate in the zest from half of a lime to add a little bit of fragrance. We can also slice this in half and add in about half of the juice. Always start off with a smaller amount though, because once you've added it in, you can't take it out. Stir everything together until the beans, corn, herbs and zest are evenly mixed through the rice. The colour pops and it smells incredible, and this is the proper burrito bowl base that stays tasty all week. Now after resting the chicken, slice the fillets into strips about 1 centimeter thick. Cutting across the grain keeps the chicken tender and the strips reheat perfectly when you're ready to heat, but you are more than welcome to dice them if you prefer, or leave them whole. That choice is all up to you. With all of that out of the way, we can prepare the fresh toppings. We're going to use cherry tomatoes, 200 grams or 7 ounces. Give them a wash and cut them into halves or quarters, and try and keep the cuts even so that they portion nicely. Next, we're going to use half of a red onion. Just take off the tip, leave the root intact, and then make thin slices across. Do the horizontal slice if you like to do so, and dice this into small to medium sized pieces, just trimming off any excess flesh from around the root. Now we can bring this all together. The beans and corn are already mixed into the rice, so assembling is even easier. Divide the rice evenly by 5 750 milliliter containers. Lay the sliced chicken strips over the top and finish it with a little bit of grated cheese. These are your hot bases ready to reheat. And I've also made a little bit of a homemade sauce. I haven't shown it on camera, but it is equal parts sriracha sauce to mayonnaise or even yogurt. It's super simple to make. Just mix them together and shake the bottle. As far as the fresh toppings go, I've got a little bit of coriander in 5 small containers, roughly a small handful or the amount you'd use as a regular garnish, and then just evenly divide the cherry tomatoes across the 5 containers, also doing the same with the diced red onion. Per portion, there's 625 calories, 10 grams of fat, 76 grams of carbs, and 58 grams of protein. Allow them to cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes, place on the lids, and they'll go in the fridge for up to 4 days and in the freezer for up to 3 months. And the fresh ingredients will go in the fridge for up to 4 days, just don't freeze them.
So with all of that done, you can just add some of that high protein yogurt on top, and then there's only one thing left to do, and that is, of course, we can then dig in. The chicken's juicy and smoky. It does have a little bit of heat from that chipotle, but then the yogurt balances it out. If you're not a fan of heat, you don't have to use it, but I do highly recommend it. The rice is fresh. It's a little bit sweet from the corn. It's got that nice fragrance from the coriander, and then the fresh toppings just increase the freshness. Beautiful dish, and I highly recommend you try it. And thanks for watching.